And there's one point that really excites me because it's a premiere, let's put it that way. It's the first time in EMO history that we have a so-called alliance country, and it's not any country. I would say it's interesting that we have it now, because right now I would say it's the most bespoken country in the world in the last 6 months, and for some good, for some bad reasons, Jayson. I think we could all agree. But today it's only for the good reasons, and we're talking about Canada. And we are more than lucky to have Jayson Myers from NGen here, directly from Canada, who will bring us up to speed what we can expect from our alliance country at EMO, what the benefits are for our exhibitors, for our visitors, and for all that want to get in touch with this wonderful country, not in terms of wonderful like beautiful, but also in terms of potential and future-orientated work together. So I'm more than happy to welcome in on stage. Please give a warm round of applause for Jayson Myers, NGen Canada. Jayson, stage is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Sven, and it's great to be here. First of all, let me thank Marcus and his team for hosting me here today. I couldn't tell you how excited I am to talk about Canada's presence as the first alliance country at EMO. We do have an unruly neighbor to the south, but I think that is probably providing Canadian companies with not only a lot of enthusiasm about finding new customers, finding new suppliers, finding new innovation partners, but also about transforming their businesses. One surefire way of overcoming any problem around tariffs is to become super efficient. And in the short term, that allows you to reduce cost, make sure the tariffs don't cut in, but as much. But in the long term, what it does is supercharge your productivity and your efficiency, and makes you a better long-term manufacturer at the end of the day. So all of that as background to why Canada is looking forward to being the first alliance partner at EMO. I also want to recognize Christian Pfeiffer and all of the Hannover team at Deutsche Messe as well. I'm still suffering from the Hannover hangover from Hannover Messe in April here, where Canada was the partner country there, and I think we're going to bring many of the same companies, or a lot of the companies who were at Hannover to EMO, recognizing that this is really a show that's focusing on machine tools and metalworking as well. So let me tell you a little bit. Maybe you can go to the next slide. A little bit about NGen and what I do there. Sometimes I'm not too sure myself, but what Next Generation Manufacturing Canada is, we're industry-led, we're not-for-profit organization. We raise funding from public sources as well as from private sources to invest in collaborative projects leading to transformative solutions for manufacturing. A number of manufacturing sectors, as you can see here, number of technologies as well, focusing on productivity improvement, efficiency improvement, but also creating the right value for customers around the world, helping Canadian companies go into new markets, commercializing their IP, and of course commercializing their products as well and services on the manufacturing side. So, the bit of background about what led us into this business in the first place. I think and it's not one of the points that Marcus made today is in his travels around the world. Every company is unique, every country is unique, every region is unique, and in manufacturing, what you often find is that we're all unique in extremely similar ways. The issues, the challenges that companies are facing today around competitiveness, around the challenging market environment, around the challenges of successful adoption of technology, they're pretty similar, regardless of where you go. And in many cases, pretty similar, even regardless of the size of company, although smaller companies in particular have a little bit more of a challenging time. We saw that in Canada, and what we wanted to do is, first of all, tell Canadians, but also the world, about some of the great advanced manufacturing capabilities that Canada has. But what we also wanted to do was bridge this gap between research and technology on one side and manufacturing customers on the other. And I think that's really, really extremely important. We often talk about, or people talk about, commercializing technology. And it's so much of a push approach. Like, let's put more money into research, let's develop all of these great tech startups. And often, then the question is, well, where do they go? You need a customer. And manufacturing is probably the best customer you could ever have. It's the ultimate integrator of technology. But what we found is that customers really don't want to buy technologies. They want to buy solutions. They need solutions to solve their production problems, their operating problems, their business problems. And often a single technology just doesn't do the trick. It has to be integrated with other technologies. Machine learning is an AI technology, but it also assumes that there's a machine involved and that there are sensors and data collection, and assuming that there's connectivity that brings all of this together. So to talk about AI without all of those other technologies is just looking at one part of the problem. It's like knowing that you need to go somewhere and you think you need a car and someone comes along with a pair of tires and expects you to put it together yourself. That doesn't work. What you really need to do is integrate technologies, come up with solutions that actually solve real business problems, real industrial problems, and that's what we do at NGen. It's a pretty successful model. We've invested about $215 million in projects that have completed to date. And the return on that investment so far, over 3 years, is 42 times that investment in terms of sales and IP licensing. So that's what we do. We have a lot of fun. We do everything from 3D printing brain tissue to automating putting in place fully automated robotics processes using AI, which we were very pleased. Our project won the international recognition at Hannover as the best robotics application in the world. So that's what I enjoy doing anyway, and it gives me a great basis for understanding what's going on across Canada. Let me do the next slide. So the metalworking sector in Canada, it's hard to actually get the numbers here. I can tell you here are the economic stats around the primary metal sector, the metal fabricating sector, the metal machining sector, and the machine tool sector. That's not too much of a problem. But this does not count, for instance, are the auto parts producers that are largely metal fabricators, but that are considered a different sector of the economy. It also doesn't count all of the technologies that go into the machine tool sector, the metalworking sector, the metal machinery sector, or these other parts of metalworking themselves. So while these three sectors account for about close to 20% of Canada's overall manufacturing activity, which is, let's see, around, I guess in total, I guess close to $1 billion American dollars in production sales there, so fairly large sector in Canada. But this is such an integrated sector itself, and mentioning the importance of the auto parts sector, that's especially relevant to machine tools because the three largest companies in Canada for auto parts, Magna, Linamar, Martin Rea, were all founded by machine tool manufacturers who came, actually machine tool apprentices, who came to Canada from Europe, from Hungary, from Austria, and from Germany. So Canada depends a lot on German technology and German know-how in the machine tool sector here. Most of the machine tool sector in Canada made up of small companies. They're focused on specialization. They're focused on precision machining. They have been highly focused on the automotive industry there and on the US market. And now, of course, much of that is changing because of the uncertainty around tariffs. So these companies are looking for new partners, new customers, but also new technology partners, new suppliers from around the world. And that's why EMO is important for us to participate in September. The other, and I was also struck by some of the discussions we had today or this morning with Marcus and with Sven and professors around AI adoption and around technology adoption. I think these are trends, they're challenges facing manufacturers around the world. Machine tool sector in Canada is part of that. All manufacturers are facing issues about how to best use technology to deliver superior business results in terms of better competitiveness, better productivity, greater efficiency, and of course, higher value for customers. That's not a challenge that's only isolated to one country. As I said, everybody is facing this. But you know, it's not about technology alone. A lot of it is about people. A lot of it is about management. And a lot of it is about strategic leadership. And one of the opportunities at EMO, I think, is for Canadian companies and for us to discuss some of these trends with business leaders in the sector from around the world here. It's not just about investing in technology. It's about getting the best out of that technology to actually achieve business objectives. Some of the biggest consulting companies in the world report that their digital projects, that AI applications, 75 to 80% of them fail. And the reason has nothing to do with the technology. It's all about the management of the projects themselves. And in that management, especially around AI, what makes AI projects work is the data high enough quality? Do you really understand the algorithms that are being used to analyze this data and to give you the results? Do you have the skills, not so much to come up with new algorithms? We have some of the leading universities in the world as well that have some pretty significant programs in AI development. But it's in manufacturing, the issue is not the development of algorithms. The issue is, do you know how best to apply AI models to get the results that you want? And I think today the opportunities are amazing if you know the right way to actually apply these technologies. Here, AI has the potential to, and is, reshaping the business of manufacturing itself. It's no longer an application or a tool just to improve processes through some predictive capacity. It's actually identifying the processes that need to be improved right from the very beginning through reading the data that is available even from legacy equipment. So these are some of the challenges that of course, Canadian companies are going through, manufacturers, and particularly the machine tool industry. It's about no longer in manufacturing, no longer about getting product out the door. It's about providing a solution to your customers. And that requires a very different type of thinking about the combination of product and service today. We're seeing much more in the way of services provided by the machine tool sector, by the metalworking sector. But I think we're in a situation where every product, every process, every piece of equipment is a data platform. And the future of manufacturing is how can companies use that data to provide greater degree of specialization, greater degree of customization, greater degree of precision and quality, and a higher value product for the customer. So Canada isn't so different from everybody else. And I think even without the trade issues, that we'd still have lots and lots to discuss at EMO. Talking about trade issues, in Canada now, it's kind of elbows up. This was a theme at Hannover too. But it's elbows up and hands out to meet new customers, new suppliers, new technology partners, and that's why we're especially excited to be in Hanover at EMO in September. Let me just wrap up with the next slide, just to tell you a little bit about what we have in mind. We're going to bring a delegation, probably 15 to 20 exhibitors in the high-tech space for machine tools. Some AI companies, some robotics companies, automation companies, as well as machine tool companies. But we will also provide any visitors to our pavilion with access to about 2,000, a description of 2,000 companies across Canada, where we're using AI ourselves to be able to identify the manufacturing capabilities advanced manufacturing capabilities that these companies have. So you'll have access to the entire database when you arrive. We'll have a group of students from Canada, as well as from Eastern Westphalia there, who Marcus has been saying is a hub of, I think, Marcus, is it chicken production, or is it, very keen supporter of Westphalia there. But we'll have a group of German students, a group of Canadian students who will be going to a number of universities, a number of plant tours along the way, and then ending up at EMO at the end of the day. And of course, we'll be covering this ourselves in our social media and providing all sorts of interviews with the world-leading companies that are there. So we're really looking forward to attending and to bringing some of that Canadian spirit and the elbows up, hands out attitude that we had at Hanover back to Hanover in September. So thanks very much. Glad to answer any questions.
Great, thank you so much.